everybody. Welcome to another episode of Perkasie Business Chat. Today's guest is Bruce Costa of Granite Dojo. Bruce, welcome to Perkasie Business Chat.
Thanks, Joe. The pleasure's absolutely mine.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, I'm very familiar with the dojo, having had quite a bit of experience with my grandson there, and I really appreciate everything you've done for him. But for our audience, tell us a little bit about Granite Dojo and the cool things that you do.
Well, I'll try not to spend the next 10 minutes talking about your grandson, David, because he's pretty awesome. In fact, he and I have been going back and forth on discussing the cleanliness of his room.
An important topic in his family these days.
I will tell you, he has nailed it. I encourage you to report there and give me your full opinion.
I sure will.
So Granite Dojo has been in Perkasie for 18 years. I'm delighted to report that. Perkasie's my beloved town of 30 years. To be able to be in this gorgeous place for that long is really meaningful to me. It is also, I got to say, a place that I never think to use the term work for. It's the dojo. It's a huge family environment there. I'm happier every time I leave it than when I arrived, and I was pretty happy going in. So it's really a great experience, and there's just a million smiles, a million kind hearts. We train very hard. We really try to hold our students to a high standard. I hear from my colleagues who visit that is the case. So it's rewarding to hear that. But you know, once you learn to do hard stuff, the question is, well, now what can we really do? And that's why a lot of our philanthropy is it's just a no-brainer. I mean, anyone in the dojo that has an idea to support a cause, the cause gets supported. We have many family members making masks right now. So it's just a don't get me started. One symbol of its of the connection we have there is the building itself. That was a machine shop for 40 years. As you know, Joe, having written an article on the topic very kindly, that place was converted from what was nice by machine shop standards, but rough by karate school standards. That place was converted by my adult students, parents of my young students, and me and my family into just a really gorgeous, colorful, beautiful space that people really love to linger at well after they're done training. We love it.
And just tell us, where is it? Where exactly are you located?
Oh, well, it's on Constitution Avenue, right across from Lenape Park. If your back is to the historic Twin Wright Bridges, and I'll try to do this in mirror for you, for the viewers, and McDonald's is here and Dairy Queen is there, you're looking right at our space. And you're welcome to come up right now during the crisis, grab some of the sidewalk chalk we have out for everybody, and do some art on our sidewalk.
You have some of the most amazing artwork that I've seen. Some of the most inspirational artwork, and it's all done by your student.
It's just mind blowing. People stop in the parking lot to take pictures. It's just
that's really cool. That says a lot about just the atmosphere that you've created there for your dojo family. How many students do you have?
Well, we have 84 students. But there are hundreds of people involved in the dojo one way or another. I'm just blown away to be able to tell you that here we are on April 17th, I think, and we haven't lost a single student. The families have been so deeply supportive of us. We're appearing in their living rooms every day. We just worked really hard to try and make sure we remained relevant to them. And I have some stories.
You are one of the businesses that is required to be shut down, so you can't have in-person instruction and practice, but you've basically gone online and continued the same practice. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Governor Wolf's shutdown order affected us not at all because we had shut down well in advance of his order. I just really made the study of the epidemiology of this my #1 daily topic, so I could provide some kind of sense of normalcy as people started to struggle with this thing. And it's been rough. My daughter lost a mentor to this. It's a rough time right now. So we wanted the dojo to be a source of strength for people, even in this condition as it is normally. So we shut down for all of 1 week and climbed the learning curve of Zoom, understood how to approach ours is a rather austere practice, actually. It's quite old and quite formal. It's traditional Japanese Shotokan karate at its highest level. So that comes with a lot of etiquette and a lot of formality. And I needed to discover the way to translate that into an online experience. The founder of our art created 20 precepts to follow in the study of it. One of the things he said was always create and devise. That's not the best translation, but I can layer on that the way in which I can bring the relevant lessons that we teach to a modern American technologically sophisticated audience. And so that, I think, is a real important thing to have done. And I think it's why people smile when their screens light up, despite the torture I have in store for them. So
have you pretty much been able to keep to the same schedule that you've had?
Oh yeah, we are running all 17 of our weekly standard classes plus extra stuff. And there's an actual added bonus that right now some of the most respected practitioners in the world are offering classes online. And you just have to get ready to train at 7 p.m. England time or something, but we're informing our more advanced students of those options. And so there's even more to be held there. I have a funny story about how this all got started.
Please,
with us.
tell me.
When we have, for our young children, when we have a belt rank promotion.
And when you say young, how young are we talking?
3 to 5. We have a section of 3 to 5-year-olds, a section of 4 to 8-year-olds, and a section of 6 to 8-year-olds. So when that happens, we combine them all together. We do an exhibition for the parents. It's a packed house, and then we have an ice cream sundae bar that they get to sample from after taking pictures. Well, once I started to learn about this, we switched to making those little ice cream cups you used to get in camp, with the wooden spoons.
Dixie cups.
And keeping them to just the classes themselves instead of combining everybody in an effort to reduce the crowd. Well, we got 1/3 of that audience cared for, and then we realized we needed to shut the school. So the following 2/3 of people, we put their belt, their certificate, a Dixie cup, some stickers in a brown paper bag with some art on the outside, and drove it to each of the individual houses the next day. The people were so happy. It was just it was the most rewarding experience. Everybody wanted to talk because they had already felt isolated for some time. There was one little boy who was laying in his doorway with a half-eaten bag of goldfish with the door ajar, and we went up. We said, "We're sorry, we're late." He said, "I've been waiting for 2 hours." It was awesome. And so now about once a week we try to get physical materials to the people. This is all Sensei Barbara, our lead children's instructor. Just this past week we sent out origami to everybody. The week before we sent out a little karate paper doll that you could decorate. And so then during our Zoom classes, everybody has to show off their homework. And it's just a sweet thing. Yeah. We make sure we start classes early, end them late, so people have time to joke and just get some FaceTime.
Isn't it is all about staying connected, right? I mean, just that connection that you have with your students and their parents, and I've seen that firsthand. It's really something that people, they look forward to. They really do. And whether it's online or in person, I think you're delivering a great experience for everybody involved.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm one of those that feel that the expression that was developed quickly to keep us safe, social distancing, that was unfortunate. You know, it's physical distancing. Socially, we need to do
Socially,
everything we can to be
exactly.
together.
That's great. So going into these next couple of weeks of uncertainty that people are going to face, what kind of mindset do you think they should have? Whether it's karate, whether it's some other activity, what should people be thinking? What should they be looking at in their daily lives to keep them going?
You know, Joe, I'm just such an optimistic guy. Like I'm just happy every day waking up and realizing that air goes into my lungs. I mean it from the bottom of my heart, and I mean that in a slow way, in a thoughtful way. It's just, we're just so lucky to just be able to look around and see things. And part of the problem we have in our society is that we develop ways to comfort ourselves, you know, to insulate ourselves with drywall and heating systems and air conditioning and screens and easily cooked foods and everything. You know, you turn on a spigot and you get water out of the tap right away, when 16% of the world doesn't have clean water at all. Right? I mean, it's a miracle, and it's not good enough for us. Then we have to put it in plastic bottles, you know, single use. And I just I take my lesson from the Stoics, you know, like Seneca. You know, if you just do a little thought experiment where the things that you rely on every day, if the last time you saw it was the last time you'd ever see it. Just imagine that. And we can just deal with something as material as a car. And then you can do that thought experiment for your precious children. I mean, it wasn't 100 years ago where on average people lost a significant portion of their children before they became adults. You know, 20% of women throughout history died in childbirth. I mean, now it's a living tragedy. Hardly anyone knows anyone who goes through that. This stuff can be taken away, is my point. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of loving walking through the park and seeing people together, couples holding hands, smiling, people stopping at correctly distanced conversations. It's kind of an era. There's a historian I was just listening to a lecture by who was saying how after tragedies, we find that people look back on the experiences that happened during them, the Blitz, right, as amazing times of unification and togetherness. The tragedy of this is that we're forced to stay apart. So we need to be a little more inventive. Fortunately, we have the device you and I are using right now. So,
do you think there's an opportunity for us to retain some of that, some of the lessons that we're learning now when things do, quote, get back to normal?
Well, fortunately, incidental to this thing, there has been a rise in mindfulness as a study. And that's something that's meant a lot to me for many years. I've been a formal student of mindfulness meditation for 13 years now in the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh. And we offer a monthly Sangha where we sit together and contemplate the kinds of things you and I are talking about right now in the dojo, free to everybody. The answer to your question, I think from a sociological standpoint, from my understanding of the literature, is no. We bounce right back to our normal state. You know, people think they're going to have this great life when they get accepted to the university they want, or when they get the job they want, or when they marry well, then by various measures of happiness, they kind of, after a shockingly short time, settle back into what their kind of norm is. And for people like me who feel blessed with a strong state of happiness, that's a good thing. For others who just are constantly seeking the next car or the next condition, it's less rewarding. But I think those of us who can find a way to stop, question our assumptions, slow down on our reaction time, I think on an individual level, there's lots of hope. We're all being forced to go and sit by yourself for a little bit. I
Kind of
think
go back to the basics.
I think we need to choose our activities during this time quite wisely. Yeah.
Well, let's switch it up a little bit here. That was all very informative and helpful. Let's have a little fun. So I'm trying to end each of our interviews that I'm doing here with a little bit of a challenge to my interviewees. So I'm going to give you a choice. You can tell me the corniest joke you've ever heard. You can sing me a couple of lines from your favorite song, or you can do an impression of a favorite person, of a famous person, I'm sorry. So take your time. Don't take too long. Just remember this is being recorded, be broadcast on Facebook for all time, for all the world to see.
That's terrifying, Joe.
Yeah, you're such a shy guy. I know. You just shy away from the spotlight.
Well, I was going to do my goofy impression, which I won't do.
Well, you know what? I'll make an exception for you. If you want to do two things, that's fine with me.
well, no, I can't hold it. I could when I was younger. That's an extremely difficult voice. Bill Farmer, one of the greatest voice actors of all time. Unbelievable. Okay. But I won't tell you the worst joke I know, which is what do you call a bird who understands calculus?
I don't know. What do you call a bird that understands calculus?
Well, that's a mathematician.
Ah,
Yes. But I will tell you the second worst joke I know, which is what do you call a bathroom in a martial arts school?
what do you call a bathroom in a martial arts school?
A karate potty, Joe. A karate potty.
I should have thought of that. That's perfect. Bruce, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate all your thoughts, all your wisdom, all the things you've done for the Perkasie community over the years, and all the things that I know you're going to do for the community in the future. Thank you very much. Good luck, good health. Take care.
Oh, my dear friend, thank you for the privilege. I loved it. Have a great day and stay healthy and safe.
Do the same. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.